Welcome to the Developing Dads podcast on this wonderful Monday evening. Actually, we're a day late from uploading the podcast. It's episode number 65. I'm sure we'll get into detail about why we're late, in terms of Gordon's ailments, and just last week for me was really busy, and we actually decided to go for a meal instead of record a podcast, which was a nice thing, and we can get into that catch up point. But I think it's been about 2 weeks since we last spoke because I recorded a solo podcast myself, which was the first for me. And I don't know if you've done that before, Gordon, have you? Have you recorded a solo?
No, absolutely not. No, I haven't. I've got nothing to say on it. Okay.
It's a bit weird, but I did a lot of prep, managed to, I think, record 35, 40 minutes. And strangely, I'm getting more and more feedback now from people saying, great episode. I don't know if because I started it, I'm a bit nervous. It's the first time doing it. But yeah, there's been a few, 3 or 4 people have reached out saying that was awesome.
Mate, so that's it keeps going back to the point that I think we've made previously about whatever this podcast is. There's very unlikely are we going to get some monetary return from it. And often doing something that is outside of comfort zone that we feel awkward doing, anxious about, are people going to like it? That usual rhetoric that runs through our minds. Sometimes turns out to be the favourite one. It's done, so there's a little stats thing that I like to obsess over because I'm a bit weird like that. But basically it shows us, it's like a distribution platform that shows us, how many downloads each of our episodes get. The past 3 weeks have been doing really well. So there are over 30 downloads per episode each week. And we tend to get, it's pretty consistent, to be honest. There's definitely about 30 people listening to the podcast each week, which is freaking unbelievable. And your podcast itself, Neil, is over the past 5 weeks, is joint second.
Nice.
So there you go. Yeah. Joint second in terms of downloads.
That's cool. No, and yeah, I think I'll probably do it again. I was close to doing it last night, but I was like, I'd rather just Netflix and chill with Rebecca. So that's what we did. Yes. Anyway, it's been 2 weeks, Gordon, and let's not start with the downers. And I know we're going to end in the downers, but you've had a pretty phenomenal trip, which would be good to delve into and talk about.
Can I not just talk about how sorry I feel for myself? Is that not appropriate, or are you going to make me go straight into the positives so that people don't get bored straight away?
You can if you want. For those watching on YouTube, Gordon looks a bit strange.
Yeah, because I have viral conjunctivitis. And I have to add the viral bit because there is 2 types of conjunctivitis. There's bacterial, where people who have contact lenses, they touch their eyes and they get pink eye, basically. But also people who wash their arses and then don't wash their hands and touch their eyes. But that's bacterial conjunctivitis. I have viral conjunctivitis because of my symptoms. And in effect, I think I got it from Olivia. And it's hell on earth. I'm not gonna lie, it's really bad. I don't normally get that ill. This year I've been more ill than I can remember for a little while, for various reasons. I think the pandemic and all that kind of stuff. But Olivia just picks up all sorts of crap from nursery, and this viral conjunctivitis is basically, it's attacked both of my eyes. So every time I wake up in the morning, they're stuck together. I literally have to push them apart. They're covered in pus. I'm bloodshot. I look like I've smoked a giant doobie. I have really severe flu symptoms, like a sore throat, like sore joints. When you just want to sleep and you just want to lie in bed and do absolutely nothing. Basically, and I'm not like that. I'm going to do stuff and work and whatever else, but I absolutely broken over the weekend. Hence why I just couldn't record one on Sunday. I was like, this is not going to happen. And then tonight I've just been I've done 2 calls today and they went fine. I still don't feel amazing, but anyway, let's get over that. And it's highly contagious. So Laura wants nothing to do with me and I can't even kiss my daughter. So what a great life Gordon's living right now.
Did Olivia have it as bad as you, or have you had it the kind of worst?
No, so I have absolutely no idea where it would come from otherwise, because it's a viral infection, right? It's not a bacterial one. So I honestly don't know. Olivia had a little bit of something. Her eyes were just a little bit pussy, but sometimes it's just kids, right? They just get something. But that could have been it. And I could have been kissing her, or I could have cleaned the pus out and then wiped my eyes. Honestly, I have no idea. But either way, it's friggin' broken me. So any dads out there, peace up. Like, it's God. They said having kids is fun. Tell you, at least 50% of it you're ill.
Yeah, I'd second that. Like, just continue and wait till you get like rounds of sickness bugs where you and Laura are both vomiting. That's horrendous.
I can't wait. So if anyone's listening who don't have kids, then it's great until you have them.
I think we've got an episode about why you should have kids.
That's a good. We should do an episode about that, Neil. Why you should have kids. I mean, we can't really nasal gaze it and be like, I should have children. But maybe we should do it. We haven't done that one. It seems like a fitting one for developing dads.
Yes. Anyway, take us back a couple of weeks. So these have definitely been the most hectic 2 weeks of the year so far. Like, hands down, the most hectic. So let's take us back 2 weeks. So it's Monday the 13th of March. So 2 weeks from today, I looked after Olivia all day. So once a week I look after Olivia, and that's my daddy daycare day, which is actually amazing. I think I take it for granted a little bit, and sometimes I look at it as like a job. But I don't know many dads, that get that opportunity one day in the week where it's just you and your daughter or your son or your kid. It's pretty sick. Like, that's pretty cool. Nice.
So anyway, Monday was my day. So I looked after Olivia all day. And, anyone who has got children, it's not the easiest thing. It's not the hardest. It's not the easiest. You've got to entertain them and do stuff with them and move them around. And you basically, your entire day is just taken up by entertaining them. And you're going to try and get dinner ready for when Laura comes home or whatever else. But she was away in Paris. No, she wasn't away in Paris. She was here. But anyway, I had to get dinner ready, just being the, quintessential house husband that I was on a Monday. And then on Tuesday and Wednesday, Olivia goes off to Nana's and Gramps. So she's off there. So on Tuesday, I had a shoot up in Wigan. So, early train journey up, long journey back. And then I'm an avid Fulham fan now. Come on, you Whites. So I also decided to throw in a Fulham Wolves game, which ended up being a draw, I think it was. But anyway, I was going with Laura's, my father-in-law, so David, and also Laura's grandparents. So I went to go and watch that. Fantastic, really enjoyed it. But it meant we got home pretty late on the Tuesday. By the way, Neil, if I'm dragging this out a little bit, feel free to tell me to shut up. But I just want to emphasise how stressed and tired and difficult my 2 weeks have been. So then, I got back pretty late because it was a 7:45 kickoff. So I'm back at the house at like 11 p.m., maybe 11:30 p.m. The next morning, I have to be up at 4 a.m. because I'm off to Columbus, Ohio, in America. So that Tuesday evening, I had to pack my bag, back on my camera kit, all my stuff for 4 days, Wednesday to Sunday. Is that 4 days? Yeah. 5 days even. Off to Columbus, Ohio. So packed all my stuff. I get up at 4 a.m., get to the airport, 2.5, 3 hours early, like you should, because that's what you do. And I can't check in. I'm like, oh God, why can't I check in? Maybe they've just done something wrong. Who knows, right? So I go to one check-in desk, and they're like, oh, you need to go to this one. So I go to that one. That person says, oh, you need to go over to that. If you want to stand in that queue, then they'll be able to help you. It's like, oh, great, okay. But that's never a good sign when you're sent over to the second queue. So I go to the desk, I talk to the man, and the man says, oh, you don't have a valid ESTA. Because United States, you need, even if you're British citizen, you need an ESTA thing, which just basically declares you weren't part of the Holocaust. Weirdly. I was born in 1987. Wasn't even born when it happened. But either way.
No, that's where it came from.
Yeah, they ask you all sorts of stuff like, are you a drug baron? Like, of course I ticked yes. Stupid. So anyway, I actually have a valid ESTA. Okay. So I was like, I don't know what you mean. Here's my ESTA. I've got it right here. Showed it to him. And he said, oh, is this a new passport? Now, a few weeks before this, I had applied and successfully received a brand new shiny passport because I only had 6 months left on it, right? Now, what I didn't know was that a brand new passport doesn't carry over to the ESTA that you currently have that's valid. So you're supposed to reapply for your ESTA. The only difference is the passport number. Everything else, Gordon Greenhorn, where I live, declaration, the whole lot is exactly the same, just the passport number difference. So I'm at Heathrow Airport, Terminal 5, shitting my pants. Am I going to get on this bloody plane?
Almost in tears, I think.
I did almost cry. I did almost cry because I wasn't just being dramatic. let's put it this way. I'd managed to secure, I'd been offered a job to go and film at something called the Arnold Classic, which is Arnold Schwarzenegger has a bodybuilding, fitness, sports festival thing, which also hosts probably the second biggest professional strongman event in the world. So I'd been asked and invited by the Stoltman brothers, one of them 2-time world's strongest man, one of them 1-time Europe's strongest man, to go and film them behind the scenes, capture all the content. Basically one of these kind of surreal pinch me moment things, like one of my top 3, I think, career things I've ever wanted to do. And here I am, with a brand new passport, being told my ESTA isn't valid to get on a plane. I'm like, fuck off. Sorry if anyone doesn't like swearing, but that's how I felt. I felt very passionate about it. So the man seemed very upbeat about the idea of me being able to apply for an ESTA, but he said, I do warn you, it can take up to 48 hours. And I was like, well, that's not very helpful, is it? So in my panic state, I go and sit down, fill in the forms, reapply. And here's the thing, it's not like it's a progress bar, right? You know, it's not like they give you like a minute by minute update or every 10 minutes they tell you where you are in the queue. You just got to sit and wait. And wait until something happens. So you know what? I think Mo Gaudat, maybe you saw this, Neil, when he went to the US and he got stopped.
Yeah, and like put into some kind of imprisonment thing or like some kind of, yeah.
Do you know the story? Can you tell it?
Yeah, I'll save you from talking. But yeah, basically, Mo, he was flying from Dubai to America and he got stopped by customs entering America for, I'm not sure the exact reasons, but basically it wasn't allowed into America. And then he was kept in some kind of center which had like very basic things like a bed, 3 meals a day, not very much daylight, himself just in a room. And then he had to return to Dubai after like 72 hours. So he spent like 3 or 4 days in this detention center thing.
So I didn't suffer with that, right? But the moral of Mo's story was largely around the idea that he kind of went into this place where he's like, I can control the controllables, I can't control the uncontrollables. Seems obvious. So I just kind of like, I tried to take myself into that position because you can sit and fester and panic and worry and be anxious and angry and you can shout at people and none of this helps because it's just, it is what it is. Like there's literally nothing I can do about it. You know, I didn't know that my new passport didn't carry over to an ESTA, but here we are. So I was like, I'm going to go and get a coffee. So I went and sat in Nero. I was messaging Laura backwards and forwards, like panicking and whatever else. I didn't tell the Stoltman brothers, didn't tell their business manager, didn't tell anyone apart from Laura. Maybe I think I messaged you. And I just was like, I'm just going to have a coffee. Like, there's nothing I could do. And every sort of 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I just refresh the app or refresh the thing and it would say, you know, in progress or whatever it was, you know. And it kind of got to about, I think, half an hour before my check-in gate was going to close. Because I think they close it like an hour before the flight or something stupid like that, right? So I then was like, right, I've got to try and figure out plan B if there's going to need to be a plan B. So I went to find, I don't know how helpful or unhelpful these BA staff are. Like they're really not kind of, for the level of panic that is in my body, to the point where a grown-ass man, 35-year-old grown-ass man is about to cry, you'd think they'd be a bit more compassionate and a bit more kind of like, I really want to help you. This is obviously a terrible situation, you know, but it was more kind of like, this is nothing to do with us. You just need to go over there. Anyway, so thank you to the very compassionate and helpful BA staff. Fantastic job. So I go to them and I just tell them the situation and they said, you just need to go back to that queue and just hope that you get approved and then hope you can check in. I was like, great, thanks. We all live in hope. So I'm in the queue. I go back to this queue, the original queue that I was in when I got told that my ESTA thing was invalid. It's quite long now. There's about 10 or 15 people in this queue, couples as well. And I'm refreshing the app. Oh my God, it says authorized. It says authorized. I'm in. I've got my ESTA. And I was kind of like one of those kids that just found something like the golden ticket, you know, and just started waving it around. And I just had to apologize to everyone in the queue and said, I'm really, really sorry, but my flight leaves in like less than an hour. I need to check in right now. Can I just go forward? And I was like, sorry. Got to the front of the queue, checked in at the check-in desk, did the thing, and then did the crazy bit when I was at security, because the security queue, like, they'd stop people going through the barriers because the security was so busy, and I was just like, look, my flight is in 45 minutes. I need to get through the security gates. You're like, yeah, fine, and you go, and then as I was doing it, I was like, sorry, I have to go past everyone, and whatever else. Anyway, it transpires I get to the gate sooner than the Stoltman brothers. So I was meeting them at the airport. So I didn't need to panic. But either way, I made it, got on the flight, and then off to Columbus, Ohio. And
So what was the story behind the Instagram account disabling thing?
I don't know if I want to admit that on a public forum, Neil.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah, let's not allow that in the evidence pool, because it's not necessary. I just wanted to take some time off Instagram from my mental health.
Right, cool. So you get to Ohio.
Get to Ohio, and it's genuinely one of the most surreal moments of certainly in like genuine pinch me kind of surreal moments of my life. And I don't tend to feel like that very often, because I think I've been very privileged to have experienced lots of really cool things in life. But to seriously be at like the biggest biggest sort of fitness convention in the world, filming for 2-time World's Strongest Man, 1-time Europe's Strongest Man, like 2 of the strongest brothers ever to have lived, and I'm there making YouTube videos.
You've only been doing it for what, 2-3 years?
I guess professionally, but like I've been playing with a camera since I was like 18.
Yeah, true.
So, but it's just kind of like, you just don't know where life's going to take you, and to try not to pigeonhole yourself into something too hard, or, dig your heels into a certain identity, be as broad with your identification as you possibly can be open to new ideas and explore them, to being brave with those new ideas and exploring them. And I was just kind of there thinking, this is bonkers. This is just something that, I guess, like, morbidly, sometimes I think that, candidly, like, sometimes I think about it, I'm like, I don't deserve this, because I'm not necessarily like a special person. Like, I'm not a special person in the sense of, I don't regard myself as having a super high intellect or an unbelievable creative mind. I'm like not a comparative to Steven Spielberg or Elon Musk or any kind of that level. And I guess it's kind of like, it's quite a negative thing to think about it. But I guess on the positive flip side, it's like, well, if you apply yourself, and you work hard at it, and you keep doing the learn, make, repeat thing, you'll probably get pretty good at something.
Yeah.
And there'll be a moment that you'll never envisage happening. You'll never see it coming. It'll never be written on a bloody goals vision board or whatever else. It'll just be like a dream, nice little, that'd be fun. And it might happen. And then if it does happen, it blows your friggin' mind. That being said, it was pretty hectic. Like, it was non-stop, filming Thursday all the way through until Saturday night. Managing, editing, content. Like, it's a proper one-man media company thing where, I've got to make sure all my SD cards are ready, all my batteries are charged, all my equipment's clean and ready to go. I then film all day with it. Then I've got to come back to the hotel, organize all the footage, 100 gigabytes or whatever else, charge all the batteries again, and just rinse and repeat every single day from 6 in the morning till 11 p.m. at night, every single day until I go home Sunday morning when I got up at 4 a.m., got to the airport, and then flew home.
Mad.
Yeah.
So
and then
what was a highlight? Like one highlight.
One highlight. It's not. I guess it's not really a highlight. I mean, it was the first breakfast that we had at the hotel. So I came down, met them for breakfast, and obviously there's a bunch of strong men just hanging out together, having breakfast. And I'm like, oh, I just know you from the telly. And they're all just having, like, casual, human, candid conversations. But then one of the weird highlights, I guess, is so I go up. There's an omelette station, classic, buffet style American breakfast. You go up to the omelette station, and I was like, "Can I have this and this and this?" And he was like, "Yeah, absolutely fine." And I kind of stand back, just to let anyone else come in. And I just hear this kind of loud voice behind me. He's like, "Are you waiting, or have you gone already?" And I turn around, and it's Hapler Bjornsson.
Don't know him.
So do you know Thor?
Wow, yeah. Jesus.
So Game of Thrones,
Yeah,
6.5
man,
million subscribers on Instagram.
I know him as Thor, yeah.
Yeah. 6'9".
Wow.
Like, just stood there next to me, getting an omelette.
Yeah, that's absolutely mad. Was he wasn't competing, was he? Was he just there for...
He's got a comeback coming. But in essence, yeah, it's just that's kind of like a weird, surreal moment. And I guess the other sort of slight highlight is just to be in the intimate space of two high-performing athletes, right? Getting to film them, everything they're going through, what they're doing, how they're doing it. So yeah. The other fun bit was when I was coming home on the Sunday morning. So I get to the airport, check in nice and early, as you do, waiting at the gate, walking onto the plane because we get boarded. This is the first flight from Columbus, Ohio to JFK because I needed to get 2 flights. I'm literally walking through the door of the plane. Captain comes out of the cockpit and goes, "Sorry guys, you need to get off the plane. There's no first officer." I was like, fuck's sake. And I had 50 minutes between my connection at JFK and get back at London. And then Laura, the next day, was supposed to be going off to Paris to go and do work, and she needed to be off like early in the morning. So I needed to be home on Monday to look after Olivia. And yeah, so I get off and we sit, and she's like, "I don't know if it's going to be 5 minutes or 2 hours." I was like, well, I'm screwed. I sit down. As I'm literally sitting down, she just comes on again. She goes, "Oh, it's okay. Everybody on the plane. First officer's here." Great.
That's 2 close shaves.
And then, so I arrived just in time as they're boarding the next flight, right? So I get on the flight, and we're delayed. Like, it's something's happening. Apparently, they try to fix something on the plane. They fix it, and then they push us back, to start transiting or whatever else towards the runway. We sat there for a bit. Then they realize that they want to check it again. So they bring the plane back into the docking station.
That holds you, yeah, makes you feel comfortable.
Oh, wow. So then, yeah, I got back on that Monday night at like just past midnight, got home, got in, got to bed, got up with Olivia at 6:30, looked after her all day. Then I had a shoot on the Tuesday, editing on the Wednesday, shoot on the Thursday, editing day off-ish on the Friday. But then I got conjunctivitis. So I had conjunctivitis all day. Then today I've got conjunctivitis still. That's it. That's about 2 weeks now. There you go. Done.
Wow. Yeah. What a roller coaster. It started at the top, high, and then now you've just left it to conjunctivitis. Well, I guess it's over to me, isn't it?
Yeah, if you can top that, Neil, go for it.
I don't think I can top it. I actually had no notes from my weekend. My first weekend. Well, I guess I did a podcast, and you've probably heard what I've been up to. So, anyway, the last week, what I've been up to, I was in London all week. So from Tuesday morning, well, not, I say all week, Tuesday morning to Thursday, which is really nice. Obviously met up, as I mentioned, with Gordon for food and drinks. And before that, I met up with kind of I want to call him a friend. We met at this like professional convention, and he works for a kind of startup-ish kind of software company, and yeah, just had a really good time. I've only met this the second time I've met him, but he's into ultramarathons. He's got kids, and we're just 2 guys, and yeah, I enjoyed networking with him. It was really good. Then went to, it'd be interesting to see if you've heard this. Have you heard of Sofa Sounds?
Absolutely no idea what you're talking about.
So this it's basically it's a weekly thing in London. It's now in Edinburgh and stuff, other places. But you pay 20 quid for a ticket, and you don't know who's going to be playing in the music venue, and you don't know where the music venue is. So you get like a place in London that you know, but you don't know the exact location, and you don't know who's playing. So anyway, one of my colleagues was like, "Do you want to come with me?" And it'd be good. So the Wednesday night, the night after I met you, we decided to take a tram or a tube to Mayfair. So the location was the kind of named Mayfair. Then we got the address like 3 hours before. Still didn't know who was playing. Anyway, we got to the location, and it was like a women's only co-working space. So this is a bit odd. So anyway, we went in.
Did you immediately feel left out there, Neil, when it said women only on the door?
No, but wait till we get to the story. So we got in, and it was very apparent that we were the only guys in this whole room of about 150 people.
Wow.
Yeah, so we went to the bar, got a drink, found some seats in the corner, and we suddenly realised it was International Women's Day. So it was not a specifically women's only event, but yeah, as I said, there were only two guys there, which was me and my friend Ollie. And the three acts were okay. They were talented in their own ways, but they're all women. And I don't know, you get feminists on a scale. And if you think, like, I'm okay with like the medium to low feminist people, but all these people were just like, kill the guys, rip off their dicks.
Really?
Yeah.
Give me an example of how they made you feel uncomfortable.
So they did a pop quiz in between the acts, and one of the questions was, if all guys were to disappear for 24 hours, what's the first thing women would do? And they all just started shouting out, saying, "We'll go for a walk at night."
Wow. You sat there going, I don't know how political I want to make this podcast ever, but we've had problems with that in history, haven't we? Where we've literally eradicated like large groups of people.
Yeah.
And it's kind of seen as a bad thing, right?
But yeah, they all kind of laughed and was cheering, and after every act they were like, "Yeah, women rule," and like
Wow.
there's a prize for at the end of the pop quiz, and there's this like startup that's got like natural only tampons. It was full blown. Like at the end of it, they're just like, "Yeah, this event's been organised and managed by women. It's a kind of women's only event." Like me and Ollie were just sitting there like, do they think we identify as a woman? Like, it was just, and we were scared to go up to the toilets just in case it was like women only toilets.
You're like a couple of black guys who have turned up to a KKK meeting.
Anyway, the concept's really good, and I think if it wasn't for International Women's Day, which I support, but again, there's a scale.
I mean,
to
I'm all,
feminism.
like, look, Neil, I couldn't. There's been men's clubs for the best part of God knows how long. Like, who knows how long there's been places where men hang out and do men things, and where women hang out and do women things, and kids hang out and do kids things, and I don't know. Tall people go and do tall things like basketball, and short people go and do short things. Right? It's just kind of that. I don't mind that. There's absolutely no issues with that whatsoever. It's just kind of like I've never heard of like a bunch of men doing a pop quiz going, you know what, if we got rid of all the women in the world for 24 hours, what would we do?
And they all start cheering.
And you're just kind of sat there going, wow. Weird. That's just weird, isn't it?
And they were all like, I don't know, mid to late, I'd say like early 30s, the majority of the audience. So they're like, I don't know, quite affluent, Mayfair, quite a nice area. Just
weird.
Mind-blowing. Anyway, after that, so rewind a little bit. On Tuesday morning, I got a message from the CEO of our company that I work for, asking me to do a big presentation in front of, so the reason I was down in London, I was at a company quarterly, so there's 50 or 60 of us, part of the company, that all go down. Anyway, Craig asked me to do this presentation, and I instantly got on the phone to my boss and was like, is there any way I can get out of this? Because A, I didn't know the subject, B, I'm not that confident speaking up in front of like loads of people I don't know that are a lot kind of higher caliber than me and older than me, and I've got a lot of experience and stuff, and a subject I don't even know, and I had to read up on. So anyway, I kind of grew a pair of balls and decided to go for it. And not.
It's a very interesting segue you've just made there, Neil, from feminists suggesting that
growing a pair of balls,
kill all men for 24 hours to then finding your nutsack.
Yeah.
What a choice of words. Incredible. I apologise to any woman that's listening to this. It's not. Anyway, who cares?
Anyway, yeah, so I spent the kind of evenings and the morning of the event, I was in my hotel room looking in the mirror doing my presentation. Hour and a half I had to speak for with 5 guests or 5 groups of people. So it's probably the most intense like public speaking thing I've done, and all the feedback was great. And after it, I felt great, very drained. But yeah, it was a bit of a milestone, because now like once you kind of tick that off in your head, it's like running a marathon. If you do a marathon, you've suddenly got the confidence to run a marathon and do a bit more. But until you've done that marathon, you're nervous and you're anxious. Well, it's like kind of public speaking or getting out of your comfort zone about speaking about a topic you've never heard of before. is like once you do it and you get validation that you've done it well, it kind of, I don't know. Do you find that? Do you get that?
I think the comparison between like a marathon and public speaking is kind of interesting because with a marathon, no one just does a marathon. But so, like, it's probably more common to see people just jump straight into the ring and do public speaking, right?
Yeah, maybe.
Like it's not like you just do public speaking to one person, then 2, then 3, then 10. You know, like you would run you'd run a mile, you run 2 miles.
Yeah, okay, true.
So, yeah, I think, I don't know. Yeah, but like I think there's a part of it comes with age and experience. So it's like I know what I'm talking about. I know what I'm doing, whether it's to one person or 100 people.
Yeah, but I guess it depends what the subject is, because the subject I didn't know about.
Sure, that's kind of interesting.
It was like all the questions that I could have were thrown in my head. Like, what could they ask me? What do I need to think about?
Yeah, but then that's you're learning about the subject.
Yeah,
and I've often taken the attitude of throw me to the lions and see what happens.
Yeah.
What's like in that scenario? You're not a doctor. You're not a lawyer. You're like,
what's the worst that can happen?
You're not an engineer. Like, you know, a bridge is not going to fall down. Someone's going to die of heart failure. Like, you could be wrong. Oh no.
Yeah.
But I can tell you now, if you're wrong, you ain't going to be wrong again.
Exactly. Like, yeah, it's framing it like that, which helps.
Yeah.
So, I got to the airport and it was just frazzled. And then I got home about midnight and I was lying in bed with my lovely wife. And we're thinking, like, what's happening next weekend or what's happening in the week coming?
You're going to disappear for 24 hours. Did you tell her about that? What did she think about it?
I don't know I don't think I have told her. No.
Interesting. I'd love to have been there. I just to like.
It was awkward.
Is that like fringe politics or is it like, you know, mainstream? Because I don't know. I don't. You know, it's rare that I walk into a room that's predominantly women.
Yeah.
Well, it's more common now. Like, you know, I go to sing and sign with Olivia in the middle of the morning, so I'm basically the only bloke in the room. But no one there is telling me that I can't be there, or that they feel unsafe because I'm sat there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's not that captive audience, right? It's not 30-something. That's fascinating because I just find it fascinating because in any other scenario, saying something like, if we got rid of insert group for 24 hours would be seen as anything like homophobic, transphobic, xenophobic, like it would just be seen as like a horrible thing.
Yeah.
Which, you know, that's hate speech, surely.
Yeah, potentially.
Weird. I'm probably glad I wasn't there. That would have ended badly.
Anyway, so I got home from London, lying in bed at midnight, and we're thinking about the next weekend, and Rebecca and Isla and Rebecca's family or Rebecca's mum and dad are away to Copenhagen for the weekend, this coming weekend, and we're like, has Isla got a passport or is it in date? So we're like midnight, we're looking through our kind of filing system, trying to find the passport. Turns out it was 6 months out of date. So it was just a moment of like, what we're going to do. So anyway, we researched it and we can't get like the instant premium service where there's one, if you pay 200 quid, you can go somewhere in Glasgow and get a passport the same day. But they don't do that for kids. So the quickest option was 150.
Again, like, why?
Yeah. So I had to pay £150 and I had to go to Glasgow and hand in documents and for them to post it away, for me to wait up to 7 days. So the 7 days finishes on Friday and that's when she leaves. So
have you got it yet?
No, because it's only Monday. And they don't offer tracking. I'm like, I've paid £150 for this and you're not going to give me some tracking code.
Oh yeah, like anything government related, Neil, it's you know, I'm still here. Like I still haven't had my curb dropped. I paid for that 8 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It'll take up to 10 weeks. Of course it will, but you'd think it would. I mean, you know what I mean? I don't know.
So that was a massive drama.
Well, at least you discovered now.
Yeah, but we need to discuss like what's going to happen on Friday morning if her passport's still not here. And Rebecca goes,
"Could you not get an accompanied flight out for her?"
Well, if it comes on the Friday, yeah.
Yeah, because you could she can go to the airport on her own, and one of the airport staff will escort her.
Doubt she would.
She would be up for it.
Probably not.
Right.
Anyway, we need to cross that bridge when we get to it.
Sure.
What else have I been up to? Oh, I got gifted a trampoline, which is quite nice.
Sometimes I think that's just people handing off rubbish, and can't be bothered taking it to the skip.
Yes, I agree. But it's like a £400 trampoline that's still got many years left in it, and the kids love it.
Yeah, fair.
So,
yeah, fair enough.
I'm happy to spend my morning, and shout out to Callum who will listen to this. One of my fellow dad friends. He helped me carry a part of that trampoline from our parents' house, which is the neighbour that gifted it, all the way to my house because we couldn't get it apart.
Wow, that is a strong friendship.
Yeah. So here's me and him just lugging this thing.
So all you're now missing, Neil, is a couple of guinea pigs and a rabbit.
Yeah. Anyway, that's it. Like this weekend, it's been so nice. We had no plans, no birthday parties, no things to take kids to. Just chilled. Weather's been pretty minging, but haven't really left the house much. Went out for a family meal, which is always nice. Like we probably do it once a month, once every 6 weeks, and seeing the kids' faces when they say like, "Oh, we're going to Luca's," which is like a nice Italian that they like. It's got like an ice cream bar and stuff, and they just the kids light up, and it's just like, I don't know, I've given them this massive Christmas present or something. They absolutely love it. So that was quite nice and wholesome.
That'll die soon.
I know, but it's nice while it lasts, and it's nice that it's not like McDonald's or something. It's like it's a decent Italian. So yeah,
fair enough. I mean, we both sound like we've had pretty busy weekends. Neil's been standing up for male rights in feminist clubs, and I've been watching very large men lift large objects, which is kind of interesting. I never thought a human being could be that large, Neil.
When that photo came on Instagram of you and the two brothers, you're just like a little kid.
I know. And, I wouldn't say I was fat, but also I'm not particularly, like, I'm a reasonable sized prop.
Yeah.
And these two are just like, I mean, Tom's at least double my weight.
But one thing that scares me a little, well, I don't know, it doesn't scare me, but interests me is like, do they not think of health?
Yeah, but the outer echelons of performance, it's not about health, is it?
I know, but it's weird to get into that mindset of like shoveling down, I don't know, 10,000 calories.
I think it's probably quite easy because it's not really, health is rarely immediate in its negative side effect, or it's a slow process of which health consequences come from doing things like that. It's never like an immediate one.
Used to it.
Yeah, like it's people really die from like sudden causes of things. They'll die from being obese, generally speaking, in this country. People don't die from smoking one cigarette or taking one shot of heroin or one snort of cocaine, or it's quite rare, even like from an ecstasy perspective. I think don't quote me on this, please, but I think more people die from being hit by a bus than taking ecstasy. So it's things like that, right? Where I doubt it's that. So I think that's a contributing factor. Tom's also really young, like he's 28. He's a young man.
Is he the youngest world's strongest man?
I don't actually know. It's a very good question. He might be.
Because you see them and they're all like, I don't know, at least 40 plus. The majority of them, I think, are pretty old men.
Some do. Yeah, some are in their sort of late 30s. I imagine Luke probably thinks about it a bit more, because I think your lack of immortality does kick in as you start to become middle-aged. I think when you hit closer to that 40 bit, you realise that you're now moving into what is essentially rotting.
Yeah.
Very romantic, obviously. But, you know, I might disappear for 24 hours and then the world's a better place, Neil. I still can't believe that. It's amazing. What a toxic... Yeah, what a toxic world. Like, what a toxic mentality to live in, where 50% of the people you interact with on a day-to-day basis, like, you perceive as dangerous. That must be really hard to live a life like that. When I'm pretty sure from a statistic perspective, men are more of a danger to themselves than men are a danger to women. Like, more men commit suicide than men kill.
Yeah, it'd be quite an interesting stat to look at.
I think I'm right in saying that. I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that more men kill themselves than men kill women on a day-to-day basis. Neil's Googling it. Who knows?
I was going to Google, like, male suicide rates.
It's like 1 every second, isn't it? Something stupid. 1 every minute. Neil's Googling, by the way, if anyone's just listening on the pod. Wait for the announcement.
How fast can I Google? That's like 130 suicides a day for men.
My goodness. Is that worldwide or is that UK?
Yeah, worldwide.
Yeah.
I think it's over 1,000. It's over 1,000 a year in the UK. It's like 1,300 in the UK.
Wow, so that's 3 a day, nearly 2.5 a day. And if I'm wrong, I'll be absolutely stand corrected. And without doubt, I do not have to mention this regularly, but I feel I have to in this moment, is that I am happy to change my mind. I am not dogmatic in my views. If anyone wants to have a discussion about it, I'm more than happy to. But, you know, I don't think 2.5 women a day die at the hands of men.
In the UK. Yeah.
In the UK. I don't think so. So that to me means that if women in that room think that men are dangerous, 50% of the people they interact with on a day-to-day basis are so dangerous that they can't go out at night. I don't know. That really surprised me. It'd be fascinating to see what your... did anyone talk to you? Did anyone say hello? Not a word.
Zero.
Were they talking to each other?
Yeah, me and Ollie talk to each other, yeah.
No, but were the women talking to each other?
Yeah.
Other attendees? Oh, right.
Yeah. It was, yeah. You did feel like we shouldn't have been there.
That's bad though, isn't it?
Yeah, like...
There should be no environment where you're not inclusive.
No.
Like, no. I get it. There's probably some things that physically men are more capable of doing because we're bigger, stronger. That's just one thing. But, you know, that's why we don't play rugby. Like, men and women don't play rugby together. But, Jesus, like, to not feel like you belong there, or you are allowed to be there, let alone belong, allowed.
Yeah. And the weird thing is, like, I know there's an International Men's Day and stuff, but I do feel like International Women's Day gets a hell of a lot more press and a hell of a lot more events and a hell of a lot more... Maybe
that's conjecture. Like, I don't think I want to really kind of go down that route. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. That's here nor there. I think I'm more interested in, like, this thing you went to. What other questions were in the pop quiz?
So things like when was a female allowed to open a bank account in the UK? It's like 1970 or something.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
The other one was like,
that's very bad. Right.
When was it okay for a woman to go out and drink on her own and pay with her own money or something? And it was like, 1980s.
Yeah.
So like, there's some really bad stuff.
Yeah, there's absolutely there's no deniability on that, Neil. Like, the way that the laws were structured in this country largely benefited the man.
Yeah.
No question about that. But we also live in 2023 with one of the fairest and most equal societies in the world.
Yeah.
You know, do we have to keep repeating the failings of our fathers? You know, and we have to take the brunt of it. You know, we have to sit there and feel small and like unwelcome.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that causes like divide in animal. Like you're coming away from this going, holy shit, do women really think about men like that? I don't.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure my wife doesn't say that about me. Like, I'd hope if they said, oh, if all men disappeared for 24 hours, what would you do? She'd go, I wouldn't want that. It's my husband.
Not cheer and shout and
shout things like walk outside at night.
Anyway, will we wrap it up for this random dad chat
All right, yeah.
episode of what we've been up to?
Well, by the end of this, we might have got cancelled.
You've been in better form than I thought you would have been.
Well, if anyone's watching on YouTube, you can see what my eyes look like.
Yeah. Anyway, thanks for listening. It's a bit of a random episode, but hopefully we can get it out for tomorrow morning. That'd be good. As always, you can follow us on our socials. Instagram doesn't get updated. We know that by now, Gordon. Drop us a message.
Hold on. Do not include me in your lack of attention.
See, when I did the solo episode, you should listen to the end of it because I was like, Gordon can't give me shit for this. Anyway, yeah, you can drop us a message or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, wherever you listen to. Greatly appreciated. And as I mentioned, like I seem to be getting more feedback now than I ever have, so it's good to hear.
It's great. Like there's no part of this process that I don't enjoy. So, I'm glad that I was at least well enough to, because I honestly was absolutely floored. Like Saturday and Sunday, not happening. But I'm glad we got something out and we didn't put too much pressure on ourselves to get something out. I did get a message today saying, "Where's the pod?" It's a sad day. I'm like, I know.
Well, interesting. If you look at the downloads, there's been a few downloads today of just like random ones.
They would have probably come back and been like, "Where's this episode? Oh, I need some Neil and Gordon in my ear holes." So I'm going to listen to one random one from years ago.
Anyway, I need to get another episode scheduled this week so we can get on top. And we need to really try and get two in a week sometime. So we can.
Yeah, we need to get back up to our
backup.
Yeah, our backup week, because that again just makes us feel so much better about everything.
Yeah.
All right, Neil.
Cool. I hope you get better soon.
Bye.